Welcome here or welcome back to our road to 2000 ELO, everybody. As you can see, we're sitting at a 1512. So I did do a little bit of work yesterday to get us back up past that 1500 range. Today, we do have the white pieces for game number one. We're going up against Kumar 2026 joining, so that's a little bit a little bit risky, but we're gonna go for it. So we're gonna get the D4 push to get started. Guys, we're on the push. I mean, it is now day 14 of the road to 2000 ELO. This marks the end of today, marks the end of the first 2 weeks of the challenge, which if you guys have watched from the day one, we started at about 1386. So we have gone up very, very quickly. And it's awesome. I mean, as soon as you start playing consistently, you start seeing the growth, right? Because for me, I was stuck at around the 1400 range for about a year and a half until I decided I'm going to start taking this seriously. And now here we are at a 1512, 2 weeks after at this, which is just crazy. So we have the Joe Babel London normal setup here. He goes bishop f4, initiating the f3 pawn storm. Generally, we see f3, 6, g4 here, h4, and then either h5 or h6. So we're going to go for the pawn storm. We're going to go with f3 and kind of get this started. Guys, if you're new here and you like this kind of content, you like to watch the journey, hit the subscribe button. We are at 41 subscribers. We're on the road to 50. And we're so close. So join us on the road to 50 subscribers along with that road to 2000 ELO. So exactly like we said, we're going to see this exact line here. He's going to go back and I'm going to play h4 and we are going to have a normal Jababa pawn storm game. And after this and this, it usually when they play this, I think the move is to strike with h5. Not always sure. Usually, I mean, either one of those moves are going to be played, either h6 or h5. If they push h5, we go g5. If they go here, we ignore it. We do not do anything. We leave this structure as it is, and we go with bishop d3. The idea is that you need to take, because if you do not take, I will take, and you are weakening your pawn and your king safety. This pawn is weak. This pawn is weak. Queen is coming, looking at this check, and it gets very ugly for black very, very quickly. So we do need him, or he does need to take and not just play a random move like this or this, because it's just not going to be beneficial. So he does take, seeing that threat. We're going to take here, and now the idea is just simply to go long castle and develop the knight. Usually developing the knight's a little more flexible, doing so first. Now you can't play this, okay, and he goes this, which signals to me that he might be trying to castle short, which is just going right into the disaster of g5. So we are going to castle. Would love to see short castle because that is just very dangerous after g5, because now I'm just completely ripping open the position. Pieces are going to come into the attack. g5, if you take, I take, suddenly you got to move the knight and you're already losing to this. And so very deadly attack. Short castle I think would be devastating for my opponent already. So we see queen a5, just a direct threat on the king. Nothing to worry about here, just king b1. I mean, knight's obviously protected, so I don't even need to play king b1, but king b1 in these structures is usually a pretty good move either way. King b1, this might be indicating that he does want to go long, which is definitely potential here. We're just going to go king b1. It's a good waiting move, a good move to keep my king safe in the long term as well. So that seems like a good play to go. And he does go long. All right, so with long castles, I still have g5 or I have e4. Those are the breaks in the position. And this is where I need to look at to see what makes sense. So first of all, g5, knight does not have that square. Knight has this square, or it can go after the bishop. But going after the bishop's not so bad because I can always take back with the knight. Okay, and e4, you take. If I take with the pawn, you take this pawn, so I'd have to take with the knight. You take and I take, and suddenly, okay. I think g4 might be still the best way to go about this here. Looking at any kind of attacks, like b5, could be a move c5, could be incoming. We're gonna go with g5 and see how he wants to play it. This is a move, but this just, I mean, if you take, I'll just take with the knight, no problems. Still looking at this because of this. So he does go here. Taking, not really helpful. Again, this is probably the better way to go about things because then after pushing, he does have a weakness on e6, which gives us a good target to fight for. Again, if you take, I just take with the knight. Often we trade this knight or trade this off anyways. But at the same time, I could just go back. Could slide back. Am I dropping a pawn after, if I leave it, if I go back and get passive, go here, for example, well, then you take, I take, and you take. Suddenly I'm losing a pawn, and that's not something we want. So I think we just go with g6. Stick to the original plan. G6 queen obviously then has a way to infiltrate into the position, and just kind of weakening this pawn, weakening this pawn after he goes f6, which is great. And obviously, if you take, that's awesome because now my queen is targeting 3 pieces. So here we just take with the knight. This was all as planned. Now going f6 is really bad because now that e6 pawn hangs. So this is now looking pretty bad for my opponent because I have takes and I'm forking these 2 pieces with the queen, and push and I'm taking on e6, also attacking this and the rook. So you really don't have a great move here. I'm not sure exactly what the move is. Maybe you just ignore the threat and you go something like this or this. That's a potential move. But what about just taking in that position? Takes, and potentially here. And we still have kind of the same threats. And now the rook is just an additional target for that. You double, I take. Yeah, I mean, these are all potential ideas for the position. All right, so we see this. He just says, I don't want any part of that. I'm just going to attack the knight. All right, cool. So first of all, if you take, I take, and that's not exactly ideal because the knight is well placed and the pawns are doing a good job protecting each other. What about knight e2? Just ready to take back with the knight again after takes. And bishops are worth more than knights. You're getting rid of a good piece. I still have the threat of this. Yeah, knight e2 looks pretty good. Also ideas of maybe rook g1, just adding more protection here. Maybe h5, adding more protection to the pawn. We're gonna go knight e2 though. Just planning to recapture again with the knight, keeping everything protected. The knight doesn't really have any future on this side of the board anyways. So this seems like a totally reasonable move to make. So, all right, so we see just e5. Okay, so e5, attacking the knight, maybe even threatening this, but takes. It's not really a threat. So just attacking the knight. And first instinct is, what if I just take? I take, you take with the bishop, and after you take with the bishop, now I'm looking at just taking this pawn. Rook comes in, queen comes in. You're maybe looking at some kind of attack here, but I have just g3 or b3, or maybe even just c3 instead. Taking seems like a pretty reasonable move here and seems like really the only option. I mean, I can obviously also do this. It does hit this pawn, but I'm going to take. I'm going to take here after bishop takes. I just need to make sure I'm careful of this pawn. If like some kind of attack here. Oh, he does have knight takes. Okay, knight takes is also certainly a move. Okay, so after knight takes, a little bit of calculation is needed. So now he's hitting this pawn. He's hitting it twice. And the queen is the protector of that pawn. Queen f5. Queen f5, does he have a way to just instantly kick the knight or the queen? No. Queen f5 takes, and I take. So that would still be better for me. Queen f5. Queen f5 looks pretty good. So we're going to go queen f5 here. Just need to be wary that the queens are on the same line here. Now maybe takes. He's probably, maybe he's just sick of this. All right, so now if I take, you take with the rook. Okay, simple threat. But now what if I just go h5? Just go h5. That's obviously a move I don't need to take. Don't need to take. Also, the rook is pinned. He's pinned himself. He has pinned himself. Or there's also something like knight d4. But what does knight d4 really do? Well, it centralizes my knight. It can always be kicked away, which is not ideal. So maybe just h5. Maybe just h5 here. Something like this. E4. If you take, I take your bishop for free because your rook is pinned. If you push, here you push, I also take. Here, if you leave it and do nothing, what's your other follow-up? Not sure if I see it. This actually looks really strong here. This looks really strong. I don't need to do anything about this. h5 is also a move, still a move, but I really like e4. This looks really good. Need to be careful. My queen is a little bit I mean, there's not really a lot of squares for my queen right now. This is a safe square for my queen. I can always go back as well and retreat this way, so just need to be wary of my queen. E4 looks really strong. You cannot take, it looks like your bishop is protected, but it's not. It's pinned to the rook is pinned to the king, so that does not work. This would be a threat. So you cannot take the pawn, otherwise you're losing. So knight in. Okay, knight in. What's the threat? Here, maybe to go here. There, maybe to go there. But now what about just taking? Taking takes. If he ever tries to go for this, I can always just play this, right? Taking looks really strong here. Taking looks really strong. I also now have takes. You go here, and then you take, and my queen is a little bit vulnerable. I never need to take this. I don't need to do anything with this. Taking here looks like the strongest option. And then if you take back, I take with the rook. You go here, I can play b3, and my queen is safe, or my king is safe. Yeah, we're gonna take. Taking looks pretty strong here. There's no mate threat. Not yet, at least unless I'm blind. Maybe you guys are yelling at me in the comments right now, and I just blundered mate in one, but I don't see that. He's got squares here. This is a move. That's a move. I did not see that. 93. That is a tricky move. 93, a little intermediate move. Wow, hard to see that. That's crazy. Okay, knight E3, and I'm going to go down in exchange here. That's so unfortunate. I'm wondering if there's a way to stop this. 93. Takes, check, takes. No, that doesn't work. He finds the move. Really unfortunate. Wow, good move. Good move by my opponent. I did not see that. I was playing so solid until I blundered this 93. This 93 is a move that I did not see. How can I keep the initiative? Because this is really unfortunate. Okay, so queen here, he takes, I take. The rook is still pinned. You now can take the pawn. No, you can't take the pawn because I think this is the way. There's no mate threat or nothing. Here, no. We're gonna keep the pin on the rook. After takes, we will take back with the rook. You cannot take the pawn still, and we're going to hope that he blunders this, takes, and then bishop takes. This might still be salvageable, but really good move by my opponent. 93, did not see that at all. This is why I need to watch out for my opponent's plans and not just strictly my own, because I had a good plan. My opponent had a plan too. Not hanging because the knights see each other. They protect each other, so that's totally good. So let me think about this for a second, because what if I take? If I take, it's an immediate threat on the rook. I take, it's immediate threat on the rook. Bishop's still hanging. You have to take here, and then I have this. This looks really good, but do I want to just take this first? Here? What do you defend? How do you defend? Can you defend? No, because he's pinned. This is the way. This is the way. I ignore this. This has to be the way. This has to be the way. Your rook is pinned. If you take, I take with check, and then I can take the bishop, and I'm completely winning. And how do you defend it? I don't know. I really don't know. I don't see it. If there's a way, I don't see it. Possibly you just go here, defending the mate. This pawn is still chilling here too. This pawn is still chilling here. Okay, so he gives me the check. So this check is obviously the move, and now suddenly I'm completely winning. What about this? So obviously bishop looks great. Bishop looks great, and I'd love the bishop. I'd love to have it. But is this stronger? That's what I want to know. I think this is just the safer move. I mean, I'm just up a clean bishop. I mean, let's just take the bishop, like, just to simplify the position. I'm up material now, big time. The position was salvaged. The 93 looked very strong, and potentially it was. We'll review if that was actually better for him than it seemed, and he just made a mistake after the fact. He needed to get his king away from that pin of the rook. It was really detrimental. And I wonder if there was some kind of move besides taking in that earlier position just here. Like, I don't know, like maybe king over was a move, and then you just lose the rook, and then you can at least save the bishop. I mean, that seems like definitely a better alternative to this, because now you're falling apart. Like, now you can take here, but I'll take with the knight now. I just need to watch out for my king. My king is on the back rank. I do not want to get back ranked. That's the biggest thing here. And otherwise, the rest of this game is just should be nice and clean. I can get the queens off the board in some way. This pawn is hanging, but my focus is here. I'm going to take here if I'm able to. That's the focus. Here, if here, then I go here, and then I'm looking at this. Ah, no, that wouldn't work because of the queen. Maybe it would. Here, here. Let's see what he does. I mean, obviously we don't know what he's going to do right now. He's probably just going to take. I'm going to pre-move this. This is probably what's going to happen. I would anticipate. I won't pre-move it. We have time. We got time, guys. I'm always hasty. I'm hasty. Even on a 15-minute time control, I'm still hasty. I go fast. I think it's this monster, this caffeine. Just it gets me hyped. Gets me ready. But this looks like it's going to be a clean win, and hopefully he's not just going to run the clock as his way of resignation. I hate when people do that. So annoying. But I guess we'll see. Okay, so he goes f6 at this point. All right, first reaction, free pawn on g7, free pawn on c6. Both look good. c7 looks better because it then gets me this strong pawn ready to move. Also a move like this, which is just getting me the queen trade. That's also strong because here I can prepare for a queen trade of some kind, which would be really helpful. Any queen trade is always good. But this just looks very simple. We are going to, I think, take here. Any other threats I should be worried about? Nope, just got to watch out for him just loosely targeting my knight, but I always have this if he tries to do so. This might be his move, but no, you can't play that because rook's hanging, so rook comes here. Okay, again, first reaction is go here, targeting the rook. His plan might be something like this. That might be too slow. Here, 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 and that's mate. This looks like the way. Yep, this looks good. Go here, pushing the pawn, getting ready to promote. Don't need to worry about the free pawn because I'd rather attack the rook and get a tempo and keep it here. And obviously I have this idea of trading the rook that way if he goes in front of the pawn for any reason. Like for example, here, 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 and then that's a check. He moves, or check, he takes, and then I take and make another queen. Just need to be careful of the back rank. Every single move. Just look for the back rank. Worst case scenario, a3. That's it. Worst case scenario, just play a3. And here, don't need to panic. Do not need to panic. I can just go rook. I can just go here, right? Hold on. Let me calculate this. Let me calculate this. Here, if he takes, I take, and he goes check. That's mate. It doesn't work. Okay, so probably just queen protects for now. Probably just queen protects. Yep, just here. Just queen here. Simple. We can look at a3, and then we're just never getting mated in the back rank ever. He goes here, attacking my knight. Honestly, I can probably just consider doing this. That's a mate in one threat. You cannot take the knight because that's checkmate. Target here. Does this not work for any reason? Here, you take, no. So here, if you take, I take, yeah. This is good. Just go right here. Mate in one threat. That is the checkmate threat right there. You need to defend it in some way or another. If you take, I take, and that's what we see. If you take, I check, and if you do something like this, at the very least I have check. Yep, so, okay, all right, hold on. Let's go check first. Check, watch out for the back rank. Watch out for the back rank. We are vulnerable. This loses. Cannot, or I can go here, queen here, offer the queen trade, also protecting the promotion square, so we'll go queen here. Protecting the promotion square. Again, always have a3, guys. Always have a3. We're just keeping an eye on the back rank. We're totally fine right now, but we just need to make sure, like if he plays something like this, trying to be like, oh, I'm going to back rank you while you queen. It's like, nope, we're not going to do that. We're just going to play a3, and then we'll promote. Yeah, so there it is. So here, just simple move, play a3, go here if he checks me for any reason. And now this promotion is going to come, and we're going to win the game. Simple game, guys. It's a good one. We're going to get up to, looks like 15, probably 15-20 from this, and we're going to get another game and see how it goes. GG's, and he resigns. He does see that it's there's just no way. Let's quickly review this. There's a few things to look at from that game. I think that were very instructive, to say the least. So I played with a 94.1. Wow. Okay, so that's actually awesome. I played like a 2300. My opponent played very well. He played like a 2100. But I played out of my mind, I guess. So we get a normal Jabava pawn storm here. Trade like normal. Castles, king b1, just play safe, and we do find g6, which is a very good idea, allowing the trade of the bishop. So this is a bit inaccuracy. I can play that. He does find this. I take. So this is incorrect. So here, just going back is the better move. He takes like this. I give a check, and e4 is the right move in the position. And so here, allowing this. So there. Okay, so here, what about if he still plays this? I just go back, you take, I take, and you're just trying to protect this. Ah, okay, because I'm gonna get your rook right back. Okay, interesting. What happens is I go here, I play e4. That's not the best move. He is technically winning and he's got a better position. I keep the pin. And so, yeah, taking the knight, big blunder. That is the best move. And this happens. I get the bishop back. And the rest is just simplifying the game. And GG's, guys. Very nice game. With that being said, we can jump into the second game. All right, game number 2, guys. You can see the rating 1504. As you can see, I mean, I played 2 games, and these were just it was not content at all. I mean, just really bad gameplay. And it sucks. I want to get you guys, solid games to actually review, games that are helpful, and just making these easy or simple blunders. It's unfortunate. It happens. I mean, obviously it happens, right? But now we're already back down to 1504 after getting to 1520. Literally a game ago, it seems like. So anyways, we're gonna make a comeback right now and play a good game. He's gonna lock his bishop inside the pawn chain, so get the bishop out, and yeah, let's get it back to at least that 1512 that we started, and not fall any further down, because we don't want to see that, obviously. So all right, so we see knight d7. Okay, knight f3, castle is going to be the plan. And looking at potentially this, his idea is probably this, which I probably should have started with knight c3, so I could play this, because now he's probably going to have to play this, takes, and I'm going to have to get rid of the bishop, and that's just going to be how it is. We'll have to play a position like that, but instead he goes there. Okay, that's interesting. So now I'm looking at this, to play c3. I can save my bishop, and that does look like the strongest move for the moment. So we're going to go here to c3. If he still goes c5, I don't need to worry about taking. I can just go c3, and the bishop is not going to have a problem. So he's just going to develop this way. We're going to go c3. We're going to castle. Everything looks pretty nice here. We'll slow play the position. The position will kind of play itself. He goes here, so he's obviously looking at this square right here for the knight. Not entirely a scary square. b3 is a move, but also part of the plan in the position is to go e5. Knight e5 here. So for example, knight e5 here takes, he takes with the pawn, and I go this way, or he takes with this pawn and I go this way, and then I have a break here in the center after that. That seems like an interesting position to play. There's also just simple move b3, stopping everything, but this is part of the plan. This seems a little bit more kind of in tune with the ideas of the Jobava. So we'll start off with this. And so here he strikes with c5. So what is the plan with this? If you push, okay, I go back. If you take, I take with the pawn, and everything seems okay. So we're just gonna castle, get safe. Everything seems fine here. c4, no really issue. I just go this way, and then I can play knight g2 and e4, maybe rook e1. Have a good pawn break in the center. Everything looks good after c4, so there's no problems there. I just go bishop c2, and everything looks totally okay. Knight g2 now, just stopping him from playing this and, going after my bishop. That may be his next move, though, which is slightly annoying because it does just, get him the bishop. But in all actuality, here I just take with the pawn. All right, so he goes there. Interesting move. Interesting move. How worried about this am I? Here, takes. Takes. Not worried about it. What about, so maybe I just continue with my plan. Go knight g2. This is not so scary. This gets the bishop development, and we don't really need that to happen. So we're just going to go knight g2. Knight g2, the plan is to go e4 and break in the center, but probably have to play rook e1 first, because he's got multiple defenders here, so rook e1 should be what gets me that. This, we just takes and takes, so there's no issues with b3. And on takes, again, we just take. No problems there at all either. We should be totally fine in this position. This threat is very minimal. His plan may still be to castle short, which would be fine. Here we see rook c8. Don't really know the threat of that. Not really seeing the idea. I think we just continue with our plan and we go rook e1. Rook e1 looks totally normal. A good move to play. And there's never this. Have consideration of check, but you don't have to take. You could just go knight there, because check here, check, or here takes check. You go knight back. No, rook bishop also can protect, but knight covers that. So anyways, he goes h6. Idea, trap the bishop. Bishop is currently trapped. So counter idea, go here. And if you push, I take with check. You take, and then I can go back. Seems reasonable. Don't want the bishop to be trapped, or I have been preparing for it. What about e4? E4, if you play this, I can go back. E4, if you take, I take, you take, I take, you take, and I take. Yeah, e4 is part of the plan. It opens up the bishop path. This is no longer a threat. I can go bishop d2, and we should be totally fine with this move e4. All part of the plan. Okay, so we see bishop e7. Idea, castle short. Okay, counter idea, queen d2. If you castle, I look at blowing it up. I look at blowing up the position, and that's a good threat. Also, there's takes in the position. Takes, weak pawn created, but takes, you take with the bishop maybe. Queen d2 looks really good here, because then I'm after castles, sacking looks like it has a real potential to be dangerous. So we're gonna go queen d. Everything is still fine with this e4. I don't need to do anything about it yet. If you castle, we have something to calculate. But if you castle, I might need to play this first, opening up the path of the bishop before I sack. Okay, wow. So now g6, very committal decision. Here now, here, do you now have takes? I think you do. I wonder if I just have takes. Takes, you have knight takes. Queen comes in, rook here. No, doesn't work. Bishop back. He's gonna take the pawn, and I can no longer take it because of the rook. So here, and here. Okay. So other options. Taking, consideration. Check is not a move, because takes, he just now takes like this, and then it's like, okay, then what? Queen e2, looking at bishop d2, and once again retargeting. That seems like a pretty good alternative here. We're gonna go queen e2, looking at bishop d2. Your king is stuck in the middle. That's one thing I'm seeing here. Your king is stuck in the middle. You may be up a pawn, but that pawn should be pretty easy to win back from what I see, because you need to reroute your knight to be able to play f4 or f5 if you want to do that. So you need to find something like this. But something like this, do I still have this? Takes, f5 takes, and then suddenly I'm picking it back up. So it doesn't work for him. I still go here and I still win the pawn, but then I have an isolated pawn here that becomes a target if played incorrectly. So interesting game here, guys. This is already content. If I lose this game, that's just is what it is. This just trying to get some good games for you guys. That's all that matters. I'm also looking at this. Okay, knight h5. Knight h5, if you take, I take, and I'm targeting this. But knight h5, if you leave it alone and then I take, suddenly you take, and it doesn't look as fun. This is maybe a move, h5, no. Okay, so finally he just decides to get rid of this tension. So we're gonna play this, just taking here. Some kind of here is maybe a plan. All right, so knight here. Idea, I attack pawn, I attack bishop. Okay. Also though, but yeah, this doesn't work because this is a stronger threat. So bishop d2 must be the move. Bishop d2, is there this? No, I just take with the f pawn instead. So bishop d2. Bishop d2's got to be the move. And then we look at this. And slowly, as I win back this pawn, I think we're going to see that I do think I still have the advantage here, because now you've committed your kingside pawns. Your king is in the center of the board. I'm going to start consolidating and bringing my pieces to life, and it's not going to be so clear. Okay, so knight here. Okay. Knight attacks the queen. This doesn't work because rook protects. I do have checks here. There is a check there. Bishop can guard it. King can also come here. So what about just this? Maybe knight's trying to squeeze its way in here. Is that the idea? That may be the idea. Knight trying to squeeze its way into the position. And if he does that, my rook is also in trouble. Annoying. Very annoying. But with that being said, here, I'm going to have to play this. Queen e2, queen e3, probably. I can look at just taking. That's also, I mean, I guess I could just take here, right? I don't want him to play this. This is an annoying move. Taking, he takes, I take, he takes, I take, he takes, I take. Anything else? No, this is good. We're gonna take. This is actually just helping me develop, I believe. This, yeah, just taking seems totally fine. So now takes. So yeah, I mean this has got to be better for me. This pawn is a weakness. This pawn is a weakness. These pawns are all weaknesses. This pawn is going to be light as well. I mean, my weak pawn is here. These are all not the strongest pawns, but right now these are fine. This is the weakest one along with the one on this file. But main targets now in the position are probably going to be this pawn and this pawn. 2 pawns to target. If you take, I take. No questions asked there. Okay, so rook here, okay. Looking at, okay, what do we got here? So maybe king, queen, rook. If he does come here, then I have h3. Yeah, I mean, this pawn, I think we just go after it right away. Any other weakness that we need to be aware of? Queen here. This has got to be a good move. Hitting the f4 pawn. That's a weakness in the position. I don't really want to take and allow his bishop to come into the game on this square and then take this and isolate my pawn. Don't need to do that. I can always just let him take if he wants to take. And this f pawn is now very weak. This does not work because of just h3. And then you can't play this because I take it. And so like I said, guys, suddenly it looks like my position is actually better than his. It's looking like that my position is actually better because of the weak pawns. I mean, he's trying to build an attack over here, but I don't see it. This pawn is about to fall. So queen here. Okay, so hitting the knight. So first instinct is just to take. First instinct is to take the pawn, hitting this pawn. If you go here, so here, everything's protected because it's protected by a pawn. So this has to be a good move. And it also induces, you can't play this because that check, so that doesn't work. So you actually have to take now. And I think that's exactly what we're going to see here. We're going to see probably takes. And I'll take with the bishop. Wouldn't be surprised if we see takes. So we're going to see if that happens. So we see takes. And now, again, wouldn't be surprised if we see this as well. Actually, better to take with the rook. Better to take with the rook, possibly. Rook getting into the game, possible. Okay, h6. Pawn is hanging. h6 pawn is hanging. Do we have some... no. Okay. So first of all, he plays this. The idea is what? The idea is what? Yeah, this is hanging because this is still protected by the rook. So this, and this. Yeah, that seems pretty good. We're gonna go queen h6. This is still, I mean, this is not attacked actually because the bishop still protects, so I cannot take it. If you do, cannot play here either, at least not yet. I'm wondering, do I have this that takes... No, doesn't work. Some kind of rook lift ideas potentially in the cards now. Okay, so he goes king here. I think what he saw was this check. And also maybe he's just trying to protect this in a different way as well. So first instinct is to go for some kind of rook lift idea. I do need to go here and then here first before I play this though. That's the first instinct. That is the first instinct. Trying to see if there's something better. I'm not seeing it. I'm trying to see if there's some kind of sack here, but I don't see it, at least not yet. So I'm thinking this. Yeah, here. If this maybe, and then getting a pin there. Okay. Interesting position. Up 2 pawns. Things look good. Queen comes there. And is that just the idea of infiltrating? That is likely the idea. Not too worried about that right now because my threat seems to be a bit stronger. I think just continuing with the plan, just going rook e1. Rook e1, rook f3 incoming. Because not only am I attacking the knight with this, but if you move the knight, I'm also attacking this pawn. Just got to make sure my queen always has safe squares. Lots of safe squares right now. Here. Not that. Might be something like this, just trying to just make an attack, but I mean, there's no attack there. After this, if you take, then it's not looking good. So this looks like a pretty good position for me, and I think I should be able to convert this. Okay, bishop here. Threat is to go take. No, it's not to go take because your queen is leading the attack there. Your queen is leading the attack there. Once again, do I have anything like this? I don't see it. I do have this. Now that he's blocked this, but I think this is still stronger. Rook f3, going for this. Rook f3, what about this? Maybe just back. Rook f3, I just go back, I think. Interesting. Okay. I have a check, which looks really good. So hold on for a second. Let's calculate check. King cannot come here. It cannot come here. So one of these two squares are the only option. Likely he would go here. So check king here. But perhaps simpler idea is just to go here, but there's got to be something here. Check here. I mean, I'm going to play this. Check has got to be the right idea. Queen is hanging, so I can't let it hang. Takes, he takes the king. I go check. Oh wait, so takes, if he takes the rook, then I go check. You can't come to either of these squares because the knight protects that square. You can't come here. So you have to go back and actually win the rook. So taking is actually fine here. You have to take this, I think. Yeah, you have to take that. And so to simplify this, I could go here, you take, and I take. But maybe even better is to go here, and then that's threatening mate in one. That might be even better. Plus, I'm also looking at this square. This is not a threat because the rook and the queen are not aligned. However, this is a threat, but my queen protects it. So I think just this. But this, he can take it. He can take it. So maybe just bishop here. Maybe just bishop here. But then I lose the rook. So queen here. Here, here. Running out of time. Need to be careful. This looks like a good move. We're going to go queen here. H3 is a move. G3 is also a move. This is a move. Actually, this is even a move. And maybe this is the move. Here, very forcing. You can maybe go here, but then honestly, you go here. I can. So here, oh, he goes there. Okay. Need to think a little bit quicker here. So that does lose the mate threat. I'm gonna go here. Just play a little bit safer. And so that's mate, right? Check. Got him. Beautiful game, guys. A lot better than the two games that I didn't show you. If you made it this far, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you more than you know. And we will see you in the next one.